Today our panel will be discussing current research aimed at extending human life expectancy and the ecological and social impacts. My name is Rashpal Sagu, and I'll be going over research regarding dietary restriction. This is Danielle Contino, and she'll be going over the advancement in life expectancy. This is Leanne Stevens, and she'll talk about the ecological impact caused by longer life expectancy, which Lauren Farber will go over the social impact. So first with Danielle.
There are many underlying assumptions when talking about human life extension. The first is that human life extension is a new problem. This is not the case. Since the 1800s, human life has been increasing gradually with the advancement of medicine, such as vaccinations, the improvement in living conditions, and the improvement in knowledge of nutrition. Between the years of 1860 and 1960, expectancy for children born in the U.S. has increased over 30 years. We can also see this in evidence of cystic fibrosis patients. In 1938, the first case of cystic fibrosis was described, and life expectancy was no more than 6 months. In 1970, scientists were able to increase the lifespan of cystic fibrosis patients 20 years and 40 years in 1990. Today, with aggressive treatment, cystic fibrosis patients are able to live almost 50 years. The second assumption is that social and ecological issues far outweigh the benefits of life extension. While social and ecological issues need to be taken into consideration, they are not a major concern. Life expectancy is a very controversial issue, as was nanotechnology when it was first introduced. However, like nanotechnology, it is expected that when more research comes out, the debates will die down. The third underlying assumption is that there's a clear division between therapy and enhancement. Therapy is making a sick person well, while enhancement is making a well person's life better. Many people think that there is nothing wrong with curing a sick person, but when the thought of enhancing a well person's life is brought up, the idea is frowned upon. But what's to say there is a difference between the two? Is there anything different in making a sick person or a well person's life better? There is some research aimed at increasing life expectancy. The renin-angiotensin system controls blood volume and systemic vascular resistance in the body. When your blood volume drops, renin, an enzyme in the body, is secreted by the kidney, which in turn converts angiotensinogen, a precursor, to angiotensin. Angiotensin decreases the diameter of blood vessels, increases blood volume, and reduces water and sodium loss through the kidneys. This can in turn improve cardiovascular function. Poor cardiovascular function can often lead to short life expectancy. It is also thought that mitochondrial activity can have an effect on human life. Increased hydration can often increase mitochondrial activity. When mitochondrial activity decreases, it can lead to the reduction of lipid digestion. These lipids build up in the cell, causing even the slightest changes in cell volumes. However, these slight changes can cause major problems to the human body, such as insulin resistance. It is thought that adequate hydration will help maintain healthy, safe levels of mitochondrial activity, thus extending human life.
New drugs are being researched to prolong one's life, but results will take a while to get back because in order to see proper side effects, we'd have to observe them from earlier stages. One possible new treatment is dietary restriction. Dietary restriction lowers calorie intake by up to 50% while still receiving adequate nutrition. Effects of dietary restriction depend on many things. One major component of dietary restriction is the activity of serotonin. Serotonin is a class of protein responsible for cellular regulation. Serotonin is often linked to aging, transcription, and energy efficiency during low-calorie situations. Extra copies of serotonin 2 has been proven to prolong life in small insects and worms. Serotonin 2 is also a precursor to serotonin 1, which in humans is needed for stress resistance, prolonging of aging-related diseases, and slowing down the aging effect on the organ systems. In a nutshell, Drug manipulation of surgeons' activity can replicate. In a nutshell, drug manipulation of surgeons' activity can replace dietary restriction without cutting out the calories.
At first appearance, the research being done currently to obtain an extension of the human life expectancy seems to be an exciting and meritorious prospect. However, what is not commonly considered are the negative effects that this can have on the social balance of our world. Ethics are a foundational issue when it comes to biogerontology. It not only deals with the personal and religious beliefs, but of the concern that there is an essential inequality when it comes to life extension. A better question would be, whom would this life-saving technology be available to? With public health care already a great debate, the distribution of increased vitality would cause a mass uproar between those who have access to the funds in order to afford the costs that pharmaceutical companies are sure to have elevated, and those who are of a lower economic class. In a series of interviews done to take an opinion of normal Americans on their views of life extension, it was stated that a life extension technology would not be of any value unless it is available to all. And several participants also recognized the likelihood of pharmaceutical companies funding the research and the consequent high cost limiting access to life extension. This would not only prove to exacerbate the division within the healthcare system in the political sense, but in the way of age groups. When people age within a population, it is an extremely costly